Good morning from sunny LA. Hello, everybody. Good to see you here. Just want to check a little bit on the chat. Who's joining us today? Hello, Lily. Good to see you. Hello, Marcello is there. Thank you, Marcello, for supporting. Trent is with us. Hello, Carol. Hey, Ricardo. Good to see you, Jason. Hello, guys. Hello. Very nice to see you all. Thank you for joining. What we're going to show today is actually really something interesting. I think I've kind of cracked a way of figuring out how to use AI in a better way to develop looks. And it was always my desire actually to provide you guys with some sort of presets, with something that you can start with looks, that you can use as a starting point, or even just as already, like, sometimes you're in a rush, you just don't want to, like, go and figure out all the kind of, complicated, look development process. You want to just have some sort of library of presets just to get you going. And, I never quite, liked the idea of doing it with LUTs, because LUTs are always fixed, that you can't do anything. But, developing it with XO1s is actually, completely different story, because what you do is you have a preset, you have a look, but you can also modify that look because you have all the parameters that were used in order to create that look. But how to kind of come up with ideas for look, how to develop looks, what's a good look, what's not, that's a really like challenging thing. It's like, I could just go and put 1 zillion possible options, but there has to be some sort of meaning behind it, right, when we are developing the look. So what I did now was I basically said, okay, we're gonna go and use AI for that, right? And we're gonna do it in a very interesting way. So first thing that we're doing is we are engineering a prompt, and that's a really interesting process. I actually have a seminar I did called Advanced AI for Color Grading, where I teach that prompting, but I'm going to also update this seminar and give you like some new stuff that I developed since, so basically there is a certain methodology and a certain practice to how you can put prompt together. What type of lighting do you want to have in your look? What era is this look from? Is it from the 60s, 50s, whatever it is? What type of daytime is it? Is it interior? Is it exterior? What type of camera? What type of lens? And then, of course, what is in the particular shot. But what's really interesting now, especially with version 5.2 of Midjourney, there is a lot of influence when it comes to style. Okay, so there is this kind of, we use a style parameter to influence the way how our generated image are going to be. And that's a really interesting. I have to tell you, this is very, very interesting. So the next thing then, what I thought we could do then is then we're going to feed this prompt into Midjourney. And then once it's in the Midjourney, we get an image. Okay, so then we take that image and we load it into Colourlab Ai. And Midjourney and Colourlab Ai, they work really, really well together, because Colourlab Ai allows you to extract the actual essence of the look, through AI and basically use that as a starting point. But what's also really interesting is that Colourlab Ai also has got a look designer, which is basically the tool to create XO1 files. So what we do is we take that generated image from Midjourney and using Colourlab Ai convert it into an XO1 profile, which is your look profile. And then, once we have that XO1 profile, we can then, just use it for anything we want. Here are just, some results for you to look at. I'm actually going to go, through each one of them separately, and I'm going to explain to you, what they are and how I created them. Just maybe if you're inspired to understand, if you want to start doing, similar style of look development yourself. And they are really, really good, actually. I have to tell you, I think I just discovered my new hobby. I'm gonna be doing this a lot. It's a really interesting process. Okay, so then basically these are kind of my looks. I have about 20 of them, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you once I've explained you what these looks are, I'm gonna show you actually how to use them. And the great thing about, once you move look into an XO1 format, is that you can use it any way you want, almost anywhere, right? And even if you don't use it as an X1, there is a way I'll show you how to use it as a 3D LUT, if you want to still make a 3D LUT. So what you can do is you can say, for example, okay, I don't want to, I'm just a hobby guy. I don't want to, I'm not a pro. I just want to use these looks for my videos. And for that, you have a Freelab, which is a completely free plugin that works for Premiere and Adobe, and you can load these XO1s into your Freelab, and you can apply it to any camera. Now, another advantage for those of you who are not familiar with XO1s is that they are completely camera agnostic. You don't need, to have a specific look for a specific camera. The, Freelab does all this color management for you, so you have the same look for any camera you want. The next thing then I'm going to show you is how to use it with Look Designer. I'm going to show you this inside Davinci Resolve. It's super easy now. Actually, when you download the pack, you're going to also get a set of presets, like a power grades for Davinci Resolve. I'll show you how smart it is and how nice it is to use that, and how quickly you can then start iterating and making those looks. And then for those who want to be a little bit more advanced, I want to show you how you can open those looks as well in Colourlab Ai, how you can make new versions, how you can export LUTs, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, so yeah, without further ado, let me go now and share with me the looks that I developed. I'm just gonna check quickly on my chat to see any questions. What is Midjourney? Oh my God, where have you lived, Trent? Where have you lived, man? Under the rock probably. It's an amazing thing, man. You should definitely try it out. Okie dokie, cool. So here is the looks that I developed. So this one here is basically a look that we call kind of business-wise. So this particular look, I really wanted to develop for those folks who can. There is a lot of talking heads on YouTube, and a lot of people who generate content need a good look for in front of the camera. So this is look that kind of goes more kind of on this kind of cooler kind of direction. This is a look that goes a more for warmer feels, right? So maybe you are kind of have a backgrounds that a little bit like this, a little bit warmer or whatever. This is a great look for that. I think it's called Dinner is Ready or something like that. It's more kind of evening setting and evening scenario. These two looks I didn't include yet, I'll explain why. Then this is a look that I got from, I'm going to actually just reset it here so you see it in full glory. So this is a look I wanted to create, a little bit inspired by 19 kind of 50s or like that. It's from the American South. I love this particular era, and I love this kind of kind of that hot kind of feel and high contrast. There is a movie also called The Green Book, created by Walter Volpato. So I kind of a little bit borrow inspiration for that from there. This look I haven't included in this pack. This look is inspired by a movie called Utopia. I really like that movie, and especially kind of this kind of sicklish greenish tint that you get there. I really thought this is a great one. Again, this is more like a Hollywood detective story look. Every now and then you want to give it kind of a little mood like that. This one is inspired by a movie, The King's Man, and there is this kind of opening sequence where they are in a desert, and I really wanted to have something like dusty, warm, deserty. I haven't put that one in yet. This one is inspired by a movie, Single Man, really amazing, movie from, Tom Ford and graded by one of my favorite colors, and my brain just got stuck at the moment. I'll come back to it. This one is inspired by movie Insomnia. It's again, I just really wanted to have some sort of different skin tone. So you see, this is a very soft, warm, skin tone. This one is a like a going more like a kind of on a reddish warmish side. I think we're definitely in every look pack gonna be adding more of these different skin tone style, because they really help you. This one is 1917, a little bit, First World War, trench fighting and stuff like that. I love this kind of, little bit hazy feel. I suppose, this one, you could tell me what it is. Actually, I really thought this came out really good. Okay. This is Christopher Nolan. I said in style of Christopher Nolan. It actually looks unbelievable. I mean, this is totally Hoyte van Hoytema, shooting probably Insomnia or whatever, one of those, crazy movies. Yeah, I just kind of, when I saw that, I was like, I can't believe even the tonality and everything, it's just Tenet. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. I love it. I love it. I was like, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. This one. Okay, maybe you can tell me what's this one. We can try to guess. Yeah, it's also a really big movie, right? It's Drive, isn't it? I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just really interesting. I love this one. And then this kind of golden hues and interior, lit by practical light. This is Fight Club. This is Fight Club version 1 and this is Fight Club version 2. Absolutely crazy. Look at these looks. I really like this. There is a lot of, I really feel that these looks can be like, you use this stuff a lot, right? I think it's absolutely beautiful. This is, I basically, used, I said, in style of movie Spectre. It's also shot by Hoyte van Hoytema. And, there is actually a scene at the opening, of Spectre where, after explosion, some fight, and this is really depicting that pretty well. I really love that. Now, who can tell me what is this? Crazy. I mean, you can't miss it, right? It's totally Wes Anderson, right? It is, Wes Anderson. Look, you can't really believe, this is really what's happened with 5.2, that it just really got much better with styles. There are some style parameters you have to tweak. As I said, I have a seminar that teaches, if you guys are interested in developing prompting and stuff like that yourself. I'll have more information at the end. This one is movie June, right? Desert, love it. And this one is also June, like just a slightly different version. They have, some sort of, this kind of acidic kind of looks. And this is also June. So, I thought that these three really came out really well, right? They are like, they really show like a three different, kind of phases and looks in that movie. That movie actually has an incredible photography, incredible cinematography. So I really thought, this is gonna work really well. This movie is not so known to wider public, but for those of you who are training with me at Color Training, you probably know what it is. I just really wanted to see how these styles would translate, for movies that Midjourney was not trained on. So when we bring a style in, and this is called movie Klecha. And it's just absolutely great. It's basically what I did is I inputted source and helped it like that. And look at this beautiful interpretation of Klecha. It's a wonderful movie. And this is another one of movies that probably you guys recognize. You've trained with me and see me do all the stuff. This is a movie called 100 Streets. And basically it's kind of happening in London, so you have this kind of grayish London feel. So, it's just, a lovely kind of, selection of different looks. And I want to just show you basically how they work. This is just a standard, Ai test chart, which is always a good kind of way to see, and compare how look is going to work. So this is, for example, the dinner look. You see, it's just really nice, right? Then this is our look, for the, American South, right, in the 50s. This is Utopia, You know, it's then this is the director one story. I really love as well, how, if you pay attention, how skin is nicely responding to those. This is Kingsman. This is Single Man. You see how basically they really, really like, especially like what I loved a bit. Single Man and Insomnia, they really, really work well on the skin because that's the main focus, right? This is the 1917. Look at that. It looks very, very nice. Oh my God, look at this. I mean, this is super crazy, right? This is, Christopher Nolan, Tenet. I love it. I call it Hoyte because it was shot by one of my favorite cinematographers at the moment, actually, in Hoyte van Hoytema. I love the guy. This is Drive, the golden, kind of hues of Drive. This is a Fight Club. Look at that. Look at this one, actually. I mean, this one is even better, right? Then we have a Spectre, really nice and warm. And this probably is one of my favorite, like the Wes Anderson style. Look at this, Royal Tenenbaums, right? Then we have a June. Look how beautiful and smooth it is, right? Then we have, another version of June, really strong color yellow, right? And then we have a cold version of that. Then we have a Claycha. I actually really thought Claycha came out so well. Right? It came out so well. It really, really kind of, gave you like a now as I said, like, you can always, you start with this. Look, I'll show you how you can use them, and then we have this kind of, front of camera, the business driven one, really, really cool, like, high contrast, clean skin tones and so on. I'll show you in a minute. Basically, how we're going to be able to edit it. But let me just kind of, take you like through simplest way how to deploy these looks, right? Which would be, for example, in using a Freelab, right? And we have now lots of new users, especially those who use Adobe Premiere, who kind of say like, well, we don't really have a lot of options in Premiere when it comes to color management. So Freelab comes as this great tool. So what I already did, you see, I already applied the Freelab plugin on one of these clips. I'll show you. So this is like a red clip. So normally what you have to do in Premiere, you have to go to lookup tables, you have to download camera LUT, and then you have to apply it and hope it's all working. But like with Freelab, you just do is apply a free plugin, and then you select any camera from the long list of cameras that we support, right? And then now that you're ready, you just go here and you say import an EXO one. And then, for example, I'm going to go and import, something from, let's say, movie June, right? And bang, you see, I already have a look. But I can go and, just, explore other options. I could maybe go, let me see Drive, right? This is what Drive would look like. Okay, let me see, and what would basically 1917 look like? This is a kind of a cold one, right? Or let's see, like, what would, for example, where is the one? Where is the one we said Wes Anderson? Let's look at that one, right? What would that look like? Wow, I mean, you're kidding me. You see, I mean, these are just really just a great little starters. But what's really cool, by the way, about EXO one? So you see, for example, I have a shot here that is shot with a Blackmagic camera, right? So you see, I have to use Blackmagic as an input, but I can then load the same EXO one. So I say load this Wes Anderson EXO one, and it's gonna try to match it, as close as possible, but it works. The look is basically, compatible with different cameras. So it just saves you a lot of files, things, and then you can just, copy paste this to the rest of your footage. You get the idea. The next one, I want to show you how I use it in Adobe Premiere. So in Davinci Resolve, of course. Okay, let's do that. So in Davinci Resolve, I did something a little bit different. So what you're going to get, by the way, is you're going to also get, this node tree, that I built for you. You can then expand from it. It's just a really starting point. The way how node tree operates is that you have here on the timeline level, you have a look designer. And the reason why I use look designer on timeline level is because it allows me to do different tonal mapping for 709. And I really love the tonal mapping that Ari gives me, the 709 by Ari. I really like that. So that's kind of, instead of using standard Davinci color management, I like that. And then here on my first node, I have an IDT, and that is, the color space transform from Davinci Resolve. We are basically converting any camera to Arilog C. That's kind of the internal color space. Then I have some CDL, then I have Shola, then a trim. Then here I have a hue versus saturation curves. Here are some qualifier. Here is a skin qualifier. And here I have windows. But let me just show you how cool it is now. So you get, when you download the look pack, you also get, basically these power grades. So you see all the looks, all the EXO ones are saved as power grades, and you have also visual reference to them, which is really cool, right? And what I do is I put them as my power. So you right mouse click, you say add power grade album, and I put those looks into my power grade album, and that way they are available to me in every project. And basically, just to show you how easy it is now. So now you say, okay, let me try this look. So you drag this look and you drop it onto your third node, which is the Sholat node, right? And straight away, you got the look. There's its song. You got a look. There we go. Then I have to say, well, give me something like a Dune, right? Or maybe something called like a Fight Club, right? Or give me, I don't know, like this thing from Spectre scene. Oh, well, maybe that's great look, right? And then what you can do, you can always go then in your CDL, you can then adjust it a little bit to where you want it, like for example, like this, because you need to adapt it to your shot material. But what's really also cool is that you can then just click on this node, you open Effects tab, and there is your Look Designer plugin, and every single parameter that was used to create that look is available to you, and you can then continue tweaking it. And you can say, for example, you know what, I want it to be a little bit warmer, so you go into temperature and you just add a little bit more warmth if you want. So you have everything available to you. So right, so you're not like, oh, I'm on a LUT and I'm locked and I can't do anything. No, it's just a good starting point for you. Like, that's really how I envisioned you guys use this. That's the whole benefit of having an EXO1, is the idea that you can edit it, you can use it, you can basically make your own looks with it, right? So I can, let's say, for example, put this look and I say, all right, but this one needs a little bit more contrast, like this, for example, right? And I can then maybe increase a little bit saturation. And then what you do is just apply a little vignette here, right? You can apply a little spot on her if you want to. And there's a little grad as well, right? I have like a little windows. And there you go. In a very, very short amount of time, boom, 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 you build a look. And I think that's the kind of idea that not every job, it's going to give you time for you to spend days and hours, to figure out the look. Some jobs, you want to be able to be creative, to be able to quickly express yourself, to be able to quickly iterate, to not just always give your clients same old LUT that you used over and over and over again on every job. I mean, you're kidding me. Now you have a basically, like a great starting points, but then you also tweak them to your liking, and you're not spending huge amount of time to it. It's very, very, very creative. I have to say, this is like, what creativity is about, and it really, makes me also kind of understand, how AI is really going to be helping us in our job. It's just really going to help us to be more creative, because I worry less about technicality now. I'm more focused on really how I can, how am I going to make this footage look, not how will I make the look, right? So that's a really, really an interesting thing. Vasya asks, what's the project color management set to? Vasya, I don't use any color management. I always leave it on none, right? This I could be adjusting, I can explain to you, like this is just the metadata that could be happening. So if I was to be accurate, I would put this to be that my timeline is Arilog C, and that my output is Rec 709, Rec 709 2.4 gamma. So but this is just a metadata. It doesn't really change anything the way how my look actually looks. And then I'm using nodes for color management. It's much better way of doing it with nodes. Okay, now, for those of you who, also, think like, okay, I want to be a little bit more creative. I want to do more, with these looks and stuff like that. I want to just show you, like, how you can, for example, use them. So, you can import all of these EXO1s in your Colourlab. And this is the best place where to design looks, because it has this AI feature that helps you match, but also it allows you, to edit them a little bit easier. So what you can do is you can right mouse click here and you can say duplicate show look, so that you don't really edit the original one that I just started, working with. You want to keep them. Now, I deliberately didn't lock them. So you can change them, you can do whatever you want with them, but maybe you want to save the original version. You don't want to change that original version. And then basically you can see what this look is. Look, it says, okay, so it's using a Turna as a print. It's using an F2 as a contrast. And let's have a look in primary. Does it have any of those settings? No, it's actually pretty simple looking. It's not, none of these are really. You should always check both tabs. Here in primary, sometimes there is a little bit adjustment on contrast. You see shadow and highlights have got a certain higher value, and then the saturation is a little bit increased. But what I could do is I could say, you know what? I want to give it a little bit more kind of, yellowish, feel. So for that, you just use your subtractive, and you just add a little bit yellow, for example, right? And you just move that a little bit. That's fantastic. And you say, I want to put a little bit teal in a shadow. So what you do is you click here on the primary, and then you go and say, okay, my lift is best for my shadow. You click on lift, and then here is your cyan, right, for teal. And then you just go and you just lift that a little bit. And that kind of really nicely helps you just to add a little bit teal to your shadow, for example, right? And now, like, let's say I want to add a little bit more crunch if I want to write something like that, maybe a little bit more warmth here on the temperature side. And that's kind of my look, right? I can then, save this look, do anything what I want with it. That could be now my new look. I want to do it, but I want to just show you. Like sometimes you for example are not going to be able to work with people or who have ability to play EXO1s. What's really interesting in Colourlab, you can right mouse click on it and you can say export as cube, right? And then here you say what size cube do you want, 3365, whatever, right? And then what's your camera? And that's really cool. Look, you can actually select any of the cameras. So you could say, wait, I'm working with the red camera. No problem. You say red IPP2, and I want red to output to 709 by Ari. Sure, why not? No, hey, listen, give me an HDR version of this look. Sure, no problem. Boom, you click on that. You click on export. And then you have this 3D LUT that you can then give to people who kind of, like who work in whatever, like any scenario where they can't, use the actual EXO1, the plugin file. And that is really like giving you even more flexibility, even more ability, to be able to, control looks or do, interesting stuff with them and so on and so on and so on. So basically, so the True North Entertainment says, do you have a previous and parameter adjustments in Premiere? And the answer to that question is yes, I do. So let me show you how I do that in Premiere. So we have actually in Premiere, we have a, let me just kind of, maybe open this one here. We have a plugin which is called Look Designer. Of course, Look Designer. Okay, so what you do is you put the Look Designer on, like this one, okay, and then you go into Effects Controls, and then you come here and you say Import EXO1, and then you go into, your Exo1 library. And let's say, what should we do this? Let's see, maybe a move something, what should I do? Let me see. Why not? Let me do this business driven. Why not? Let's do that one. Okay, cool. So maybe this is not the best shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to select all of these clips. I'm going to right mouse click and I'm going to say paste attributes, and I'm going to say paste the look designer. So now we'll see, maybe there is some shots that give me like a maybe better idea to what this look looks like. And by the way, in Premiere, you can always combine it with Lumetri, right? So you don't just use look designer. You say, okay, I want to lift this a little bit. The only thing that I recommend you do is in your effects controls, move Lumetri to sit above your look designer. Okay, so that basically first you have a Lumetri effect and then look designer. You're just going to get a little bit smoother results because you will be grading on scene refer data. So what you do is you kind of, can do this one like this. And look, in effects controls, you have all the parameters. Look, so there, where we go now, print options. It's using an F2 contrast and Fuji DI gen and so on. If you have to do it on Premiere, you have to. I mean, I never liked, this kind of, interface for UI, for plugins. It's just, but for people who kind of use After Effects and Premiere, it's their second nature, so I totally understand. But for me, like, it's always much better just to go like in Colourlab, right? And build a look and then export it, because the interface is so much better and everything just responds. You kind of have more of an organic feel. Let me just try to load another LUT, another XO1 just for fun. Let's say Fight Club, the cold Fight Club. Let's do that one. Fantastic. There we go. So I have a basically, this kind of Fight Club look, right? So that's a also, possibility for you guys to do it. All right. So what else do I have to say? All these looks are going to be in your inbox. We're just sending an email out when we finish the stream. Which basically for all Colourlab AI customers, Look Designer customers, Freelab customers, you're all gonna get an email announcement, and with a link, how to download it, and also there will be a page as well where all of you guys can actually go download it. And if you don't have a ability to play this extra ones, you can just download Freelab free plugin and try to play with it and try to have fun with it. Also, a couple of things that are important. If you're interested in learning, this process of prompting, right? And how to use Midjourney for development. And I'm, look, there is so much information about Midjourney out there. But what we're doing here is we are really focusing on how to influence prompts to create cinematic looks, right? There is a seminar on Colourlab training called Advanced AI, that you can take, and in that seminar you can really learn how to construct your prompts. There's also a cheat sheet that helps you a little bit build the prompts. And I'm updating it now with 5.2, and so you will see there will be a lot of interesting things coming in that respect. And for those of you guys who are interested in learning more about look design in general, we have actually a great masterclass starting next week, where we are focusing purely on the process of look design, but mainly more like from the professional perspective. How we are designing looks today already at the script stage, and we're going to bring some of this AI stuff into it. We teach you like original traditional ways of building it, but now actually we're going to bring some of this AI, because I really feel that this is you can build mood boards. You can not just build mood boards, you can build look profiles and everything like that then helps you actually design and develop looks. So these tools are really, really, really useful for that. In any case, I'm going to put all of those links down below of this live stream, so you guys can actually follow it up and check it out there. And anything else, please let me know. I'm in just going to have a quick look in the chat. yeah, it looks like everybody's happy. So thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of this. I really appreciate you watching this stream, and I'm looking forward, to see what you are going to make with these show LUTs. So thank you very much.